And as you said, we've got people looking at moving to minibar on demand. We've got some boutique hotels that have said, let's give away a limited selection of the minibar free. Is there, in your mind, a good way that hotels should go to be able to actually, take the minibar back to a point of being a revenue centre where, as you said, back in 1974, I'm sure it was making good money.
Yep. Yeah. Again, there are a couple of different ways of skinning this one, and we're having a technology discussion. So yes, of course, as always, technology rushes to the aid of the dilemma we've got.
Yep.
But it comes down to different procurement routes. So nobody wants to spend a lot of money to put something into a room because it comes out of a certain budget.
Yep.
But having said that, if they spend that money and put the right product in the room, then they can recover that through the revenue of the minibar. So there are solutions out there. There are electronic minibars that actually monitor what's going on within it. Now, they all communicate via a number of different mediums, whether it's Zigbee or Bluetooth or via standard LAN connection. But effectively, the minibar is talking directly to the PMS system.
Yep.
And the moment the guest removes something from the minibar, it gets registered as a transaction and they get billed. Now, there's a lot of pushback from the industry for this technology because people are frightened of it. They think, well, what happens if I pick something up and then I put it back? Am I going to get billed?
Yep.
What happens if I take this bottle of water, drink it, top it back up from the tap and put it back in again? Is it going to be picked up on? The technology is there, built into the way the system works to monitor all of this. It knows if something's been picked up and put back. It knows if something's been picked up and removed. It's even got a lot of intelligence to it. So when you stock a minibar, you may put 4 bottles of VB front to back.
Yep.
But we all know that over a period of time, the one at the back is never going to get used. And so it's going to go out of date. So you're going to have to throw it away. So with a good automatic minibar, when the minibar attendant is doing their refill, it will actually monitor if the back bottle is brought to the front. So effectively, you're filling from the back. And this can be generated as a report. So your food and beverages manager can actually run a refill report and see what's selling, what isn't selling, what is or isn't coming out of stock or coming out of date, as well as being able to manage the actual staffing requirements to maintain the minibars. And I think I mentioned earlier that the average minibar attendant that is a full-time employed minibar attendant can look after about 100 minibars a day. So this is going into the room in the morning, checking to see what's in there, going back in the afternoon, stocking up, because they've obviously got to go to the cellar to recover the relevant bits and pieces and put them back in the room. And then they've got the paperwork to do to actually record this on the front desk, for the front desk to then record it against the guest folio.
Yep.
A automatic minibar, when it's configured and set up correctly and allowed to run, you only need 1 minibar attendant per 500 rooms.
Wow. Okay.
Because they're very, very targeted on where they go. They know that in rooms 10 to 15, the minibar door hasn't been opened.
Yep.
So why would they need to go there? So that's instantly 10 rooms they haven't got to worry about. And the other rooms, they say, okay, well, at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Mr. Smith in room 6, he took a bottle of VB. So all I've got to do is take 1 bottle of VB to that room. I haven't got to worry about anything else. So the actual time spent is halved, or actually more than half. It's reduced considerably. Guest checkout is also a much neater environment.
Yep.
Because when the guest comes to check out, the receptionist doesn't ask, have you had anything from the minibar? They say, here's your bill, and it includes the VB, the can of Coke, and the Mars bar that you had on Tuesday afternoon at 4 o'clock.
Yep.
You put that to a guest, and they can't stand there with that little tweet in the back of their head saying, I wonder if they'll notice.
Yeah.
Because it's a fact right in front of them.
Interesting.
So if you look at just a minibar, go all the way back to the beginning. A minibar is really set up for two reasons. One, for guests, so they can have that guest experience, and two, as a revenue stream for the hotel. Other than that, why would you have a minibar? So do you put in a cheap and cheerful absorption minibar and put nothing in it? And then the guest experience is nothing apart from if they happen to go to 7-Eleven, they can put their, their drinks in it.
Yep.
There's no reason to having it. Do you then go for a better quality minibar that lasts a little bit longer, that you start stocking with some products that are impulse buys, but are done at the same retail price that you get at 7-Eleven? 2 bottles of water for $3.50. Why would I go to 7-Eleven when I can get it out of my room? And I'm not going to feel quite so bad, because I know if I go to 7-Eleven, I get the same rate.
Yep.
So you get that revenue stream back, or you bite the bullet and you say, well, actually, I'm going to go for a proper automated minibar system, and I can now offer my guests a good range of products that I'm not going to be effectively throwing away, and I can recover the revenue that I'm trying to get out of the minibar, which we've lost because of all the reasons we talked about earlier.
Yep. That is extremely interesting.